All right, we're back for Coffee with the Coaches. I'm Coach Brad Dunn.
I'm Coach John Duncan.
And we've got our first guest on our program today. It's not Immigratisar, as the computer says. We have Sarah James, our assistant at Southwestern University. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing good. How are you guys? Got my matcha tea. It might not be coffee, but I already had my coffee this morning, so I'm doing more.
I was going to say it's coffee with the coaches, but now it's coffee and tea with the coaches. So.
Exactly.
John, what about you? What you having down there?
Brad, the same thing. I had the past two episodes. Is pecan HEB. Things are getting a little tight here on coffee, but maybe next Thursday this Thursday I'll have something different.
All right. I've got my Nespresso this time. Sarah and I were talking before we got on about how much we love our Nespresso machine. So look at that, in the clear mug and everything. Getting really.
They are the best.
A nice foam on there, Brad. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, here we are making fancy coffee. You got to really upgrade.
We get a foam mustache here. You got a facial hair going on.
Yep, I have not shaved since we started quarantine here. So keeping track. It's like my tally marks on the quarantine wall. How long we're in here, but so we're going to talk to Sarah today. Ask her some coaching questions, some other things, and obviously we're going to try to get to know her a little bit better and let everybody watching get to know her better. So John and I each have some questions. John, why don't you go first? What you got for Sarah?
Well, Sarah, I mean, you've been at Southwestern. Tell me about yourself. Let's do a brief introduction. I know you've been at Southwestern with me for 3 years, but maybe let's talk about where you swam in college, and then why you're at Southwestern coaching with me.
So I actually attended college at I almost said Southwestern, Southern Illinois University. I do that a lot, actually.
That would be cool if you did. That would have been like that time we needed a backstroker.
That would have been pretty great, right? Mm-hmm. But yes, I went to Southern Illinois University, spent some time in the Midwest, really enjoyed the university, not so much the Midwest, so I had to get out of there for a little bit. But I absolutely love Texas. So my whole family, except for my parents, live in Texas. So it's kind of great being here, just in the middle of all of my family, get to see my aunts and uncles and cousins all the time. So that's pretty great. I love Southwestern. I have had a very, very great time there. Started out 3 years ago with Brad and Duncan here as a part-time. I was their part-time assistant there at Southwestern. So really enjoyed it. And then when Brad went to become a head coach, I was promoted up to the full-time assistant. Been there ever since. And I really enjoy working with Duncan. We definitely even each other out. And it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun when Brad and Duncan were both there, but we still have a good time, but we miss you.
I miss working with you guys. We had a great time coaching together out there, and that was pretty fun. I definitely missed that. I've been happy for you to kind of grow into that coaching role, and you watching my first year here at Lynchburg, watching you and John and a great team there win an awesome conference title on the men's side. That was pretty fun to watch, and excited for your achievements there. But you're a great swimmer, Sarah, and you had a lot of passion for the sport of swimming growing up, with swimming in your family. But what made you want to be a coach instead of just a swimmer?
So funny story. I actually did not want to be a coach. I wanted to do the complete opposite and do something else. My mom has been a swim coach her entire life, so my entire life as well. So I've been around college swimming since I was 7 days old. I went to NCAAs. So it's been a part of my life forever, and I was very excited to swim in college. And I really fell in love with college swimming kind of as a whole. I really like it so much more than I liked club swimming, and I loved the sport itself, but college swimming is totally different. And, I still was convinced that I wasn't going to be a coach, and no one believed me. My mom didn't believe me. She stayed quiet, but she didn't say anything. And then my college coach really didn't believe me. He would always go, sure, every single time that the topic would be brought up. So I really wanted to work in sports management, which is what I got my degree in. Which I still have a passion for that. And I still think it's very, very cool and really interesting, all the things that go on behind the scenes in the sport world. But, working part-time in both positions and really ended up just falling in love with coaching, and that's why I'm still here.
Awesome.
So Sarah, like over your past 3 years at Southwestern, what would be your favorite swim set you would give to swimmers? I know there's probably a lot of them, but if you can think,
Man, there's one that I hope she pulls out.
or maybe give us maybe two.
Yeah.
Two would be solid right now. Okay,
so well, I'll say my favorite of all time, and you guys know it, is the pit, because it is so much fun. For people that don't know what the pit is, it's kind of been passed along a line. My mom is actually the one who introduced me to it. They do it at Colorado College, and I believe she had gotten it from a friend as well. And it basically is 650s, and each person is swimming 650s all out. They are all on 50. And then there are 3 other people in your group who have fins on who rotate through, and they are racing you. So they'll leave farther after you. And then so whenever you're coming down to the end of the 50, they're kind of racing you to the finish. You go through it twice, so you end up doing 12. But it is a ton of fun, and it gets people up and racing. And we also, it's probably the loudest the team ever is, because everybody's cheering for each other, and it's extremely hard. You get about 3 or 4 under your belt and you're feeling okay. And number 5 and 6 are pretty hard. So it's really awesome. The best thing that I love about it is not the fact that it's difficult. It's the fact that everybody is behind you and everybody's pushing you. And it's a really good team atmosphere during the pit. And the team loves it. Like, as hard as it is, the team absolutely loves it. So that's my all-time favorite set.
So does the team get pitted?
They get pitted.
down there on training trip, and we did it together when we were all at SU, and even still, like this year, people know that we took lunch break to the same place that Southwestern's training, and then all of us had a practice and did the pit on different days, but all pretty fired up to watch that set with our different teams. We just did our follow-up to the season, and a lot of people, when they wrote what their favorite practice was, we got a lot of votes for the pit, Sarah, so I want you to know that.
Good. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it's good. But kind of thinking about like those exciting moments and exciting things, you talk about you weren't going to be a coach, now you are a coach. When you're looking at your career, either as a swimmer or just kind of looking at the swimming world, who's somebody that you really see as your biggest role model and somebody that you look up to?
Well, I'd have to say, it's like I have a few, being in this world pretty much, with ever since birth. You meet a lot of people, especially through my mom, that have become such big role models. And honestly, I can say my mom, she's going to always be one of them, because she really inspired me to even just start swimming. But she always gave me the opportunity to choose swimming. She never forced me to do it. It was one of those things where she just wanted me to be active. But I really fell in love with it because of her. But I truly think that the person who really changed swimming for me was my college coach, Rick Walker. He made me truly fall in love with the sport in a totally different way than I did before. Because like I said, I had a passion for swimming, but it was, everything. I had just done it for so long and I really enjoyed it. But once I got to college, and it was something completely different, and he really inspired me to enjoy the sport so much more than I ever had, because I was one of those kids who put a lot of pressure on themselves and worried about qualifying for this and that and whatever it was. And I was always focused on that. So it's very difficult, to just really enjoy the process and really enjoy what I was doing. And that totally changed for me when I was in college, being coached by Rick. And I truly think that he had such a big impact on me becoming a coach today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. John, what about you quickly? You got any role models that you looked up to?
Well, definitely my college coach, Dan Ross. So I think for Sarah and for I think most coaches, they look back at their high school club coach, and then for most a lot of the swimmers, their final coach is the college coach, and that individual. And I think we strive as coaches to be that role model and to give them advice and move them along over their 4 years and that career path they're going to choose. So But yeah, it's, Dan Ross at Purdue University, and I know Rick a few times, but I mean, definitely an awesome individual. So, but Sarah, I guess your strengths, from what I noticed, is ability to communicate and with our swimmers in stressful situations. So, could you go through like
You're the mom now, Sarah.
I got just go through like your routine. Say if I'm a nervous swimmer, what would you say to him or her, I guess, before a race? Maybe they're freaking out before the two fly or whatever. And give us some advice on what you say to that individual.
Well, there are a few main things that I will always tell people. So say, if we're talking like at conference, let's say, I really like to go through and just tell people to not think, because the worst thing that you can do is go through every single part of your race and think about what you can do or what you should have done or what you should do better this time. I tell these kids to just really clear your mind and just race, because that's the most important thing at this point. They've put in all of the work. They've done everything that they can possibly do. So there's really nothing you can change at this point other than to just have fun with it and race. I also really tell them to have dance parties. And that's something I've always told them. It's starting to catch on, I think. There are a few people who did it before, but let me tell you, dance parties are the way to go. We did it at SIU a lot. We did it before every single session. Actually, we did it before every single meet, I should say. But we had a choreographed warm-up dance, which was just something that just had active movements to get us ready before we got in the pool. But then we ended up creating every single time a dance circle, pretty much a mosh pit, and we would all just kind of go crazy. And it was something to clear our heads, have fun with it. So when I see somebody, what?
What's a mosh pit?
A bunch of people. Come on, Duncan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're just all going crazy.
Going crazy. Okay.
And they create a dance circle and people go into the middle.
Warped Tour 2005. There you go, John.
Yes. Yes. But
Know your age on these.
I know what a mosh pit is. All right.
But that's something that I really like to tell them to do, because it relieves a lot of stress. It makes them not think about what they're doing. And just to really have fun with it. It becomes enjoyable. You get the endorphins going, you get your heart rate going, and that just really, it seems to work. And a lot of my women have bought into it. They seem to like do it a lot more, but I've seen definitely a few of the guys kind of join in too. So it's a lot of fun.
I don't know, watching the live stream of SCACs this year, looks like some of the coaches got into it too.
Maybe a little.
Oh, wow. Well, good. Well, we're kind of running out of time. So, Sarah, one of the last questions that we ask, and then kind of have a minute if you want to add anything after that. But the last question that we're going to ask our guests is, what movie character do you feel most represents Coach Sarah James? Not necessarily you as an individual, but you as a coach.
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question.
If you would have watched our last episode, you would have known this was coming, Sarah.
You gotta prep me with that.
Yes, let's go. You got how much time, Red?
We're down to about 2 minutes left here. So.
Oh my gosh, what movie character?
Like Sandra Bullock or something like that.
She is actually one of my favorite people. She's so funny.
See, John, this is what you didn't get. Like I said, movie character, not actor. I asked John this question last time, and he said Matthew McConaughey. It's like, no, which role?
Oh, I gave you the role of We Are Marshall.
We got there.
That's a good one.
Not there.
Below with a pretty weak explanation because I was worried about running out of time. So
I will say, I think, someone that I would like to strive to be like, I'll do that, is the character of Coach Carter.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, and I just think he's like, because he cares about his players as people and not fully just as players. And I think that that's something that every single coach needs to do. And that's, sometimes we see coaches lack that, the importance of, their academics as well as their athletics and just who they are outside of the pool and outside of the classroom even, just caring about their kids just as a person as well. So that's someone I'd like to strive to be like.
That's awesome. I think that's great.
Who was the actor in that movie? Who was that, Sarah?
What is his name?
I don't know if I've watched Coach.
It's
You
Samuel.
haven't watched Coach Carter?
No.
Disney Plus, streaming now. I know you've been watching Frozen 2 100 times a day, so I know you got some Disney Plus.
It's about
Dunn's
20, Brad. About 20 times.
You and your wife can watch Coach Carter this evening. I don't know, maybe your toddlers would like it too. But
It's a basketball movie.
It's Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm guessing myself. Come on.
I'll have to
Well, there you go.
give it a try.
Well, Sarah, we got about 30 seconds. If anything else that you want to kind of wrap up or say for the group.
I mean, I just appreciate you guys bringing me on as your first guest. It's really fun, and I like talking with y'all. I miss you guys. It's kind of weird being at home and not getting to be on campus. I was telling Emmy, I was like, I am losing my mind because I just want to go back to work. A lot of people are, really okay with working from home and kind of doing that, but I really enjoy my job, so I really do miss it. So hopefully everybody stays safe and healthy and we can get back to it.
Awesome. All right. Well, good. Well, I think that ends our time that we've got for today. But, awesome, Sarah, I really appreciate you taking some time to join us, have some coffee with us, in your case, some tea, and we'll do another episode with one of our assistants at Lynchburg this Thursday. So see you later, guys.
Awesome.
Be safe, guys. Be healthy. Bye.